Yes, good afternoon, all. Today we are going to discuss our first chapter in the plant breeding and seed technology. Okay, hope all you can see the PowerPoint presentation. Yes, सगळ्यांना दिसते का PowerPoint presentation?
हो सर दिसत आहे.
Uh, yes, in the last lecture we have discussed regarding the syllabus of plant breeding and seed technology. The paper number is 16B. Okay, there are four optional papers in the fifth and sixth semester. The first one, it is the but we are discussing the 16B plant breeding and seed technology. We have discussed in detail about the syllabus of the paper 16P in the last lecture, and today we are starting our actual lectures. The first article, the first chapter in our syllabus, it is plant breeding. In this lecture, we are going to discuss regarding the introduction, that means the definition or the concept of plant breeding, then the aims and objectives of the plant breeding, and also the relationship of plant breeding with the other plant sciences. Okay, that is our today's lecture. Today we are going to discuss the concept or the definition of plant breeding, aims and objectives of the plant breeding, and also the relationship of plant breeding with the other plant sciences. First of all, First of all, the concept of plant breeding. Plant breeding, it is nothing but the applied branch of botany that deals with the improvement of agricultural crops. Okay, the plant breeding, it is the applied branch of botany and that deals with the improvement of the agricultural crops. This applied branch of agriculture, this applied branch of botany contributed maximum to the increase in food production all over the world. Okay, the plant breeding, it is the applied science which is contributed maximum to the increase in food production all over the world. The plant breeding, it can be defined as it is the science of improvement in the heredity of the crop. Heredity means the inheritance of characters. That is how the characters are transferred from one generation to the another generation. Okay, the plant breeding, it is nothing but the improvement in the heredity of the crops and production varieties which are far better than the existing once in all aspects or in all the characters. Okay, simply we can say the plant breeding, it is the science of improvement in the heredity of the crops or genetic crops and the production of new crop varieties which are far better than the existing crop varieties in all the characters, in all the aspects. In another word, we can say the plant breeding, it consists of principles and methods for favorably changing the genetic constitution of the plant to produce the improved varieties. Okay, that means the plant breeding, it consists of principles and the different types of the methods which are used to change the genetic constitution of the crop favorably and to produce the new crop varieties which are better than that of the existing crop varieties. Okay, that is all about the concept of plant breeding. Okay, the plant breeding, it cannot be defined as such, but as the different aspects, different aims and the objectives of the plant breeding, we can say the plant breeding, it is nothing but the applied botany that mainly deals with the improvement of the agricultural crops, that mainly deals in the improvement in the heredity of the agricultural crops and the production of new crop varieties which are far better than that of the existing crop varieties. Okay, plant breeding is consist of principles and methods for favorably changing the genetic constitution of the plant to produce improved varieties. Then the another important thing here, it is the nature of plant breeding. Okay, plant breeding, it is the art, science, and technology of changing the heredity of the plants for human welfare. Okay, some believe that the plant breeding it is the art, but nowadays the plant breeding it is the science more than art, and also the technology of changing the heredity or genetic constitution of the plants for the human welfare. With the advancement of the knowledge of science, there are various methods were discovered to change the genetic constitution of the plant for the human welfare. That's why we are saying that the plant breeding it is art, science, and technology of changing the heredity of plants for human welfare. Then why we are saying that the plant breeding it is art or it is a science or the technology? Because first of all we are discussing the nature of the plant breeding as a art. Okay, nature of plant breeding as a art. In earlier days man depends on his skill and judgment in selecting the better plant. As we can say that plant breeding it is as old as the agriculture. Okay, about 10,000 years back the agriculture was started, and simultaneously along with the agriculture the plant breeding plant breeding was also started. That means the improvement of agricultural crop was also started. Okay, because for the agriculture some of the plants were selected by the um, earliest man or the nomad man in the earlier time, and these plants were then domesticated in the agriculture. And unconsciously or unknowingly the selection, that method it is referred as the method of plant breeding, it was carried out, it was practiced by the human being in the earlier days. But in the earlier days the knowledge of science was not very much developed. Okay, he knew nothing about the inheritance of character. Okay, that the knowledge of science it was not very much developed, and that's why the early in the earlier time human beings were not aware about the inheritance of character. That is how the characters are transferred from one generation to the another generation, and also the role of environment in producing them, and the basis of variation in various plant character. Okay, that's why his method of selection was designed without the understanding of principle and inheritance. Okay, in the earlier days human being was not aware regarding the inheritance of character, how the characters were transferred from one generation to the another generation. But he selected the certain types of the plants depending upon his needs. Okay, then he collected the seeds of these plants, he preserved these seeds, and then he used the seeds for the sowing to obtain the next generation. Unknowingly he carried out the selection of the superior plants. Okay, and that is how the process of crop improvement was started. Okay, but at that time he was not aware regarding the inheritance of character or the role of environment in the producing these character and the basis of variation in characters of the plant. But somehow he selected the certain plants depending upon his needs, and that's why in the older time when the science was not very much developed, but the crop improvement process was started. Therefore, in the older time, the plant breeding was believed as the art, because in earlier days, man depends on his skills and judgment in selecting the better plants. ओके, म्हणजे पहिल्यांदा कसं होतं की कॅरेक्टर्स जे आहेत प्लांट्सचे, आता आपल्याला माहिती आहे चांगल्या प्लांटचे सीड्स जर आपण कलेक्ट करून जर ते आपण त्याचं सोईंग केलं तर त्याच्या नेक्स्ट जनरेशनमध्ये आपल्याला काय तर त्याच चांगल्या कॅरेक्टरचे प्लांट आपल्याला भेटणार आहे. पण त्या काळी हा कॅरेक्टरचा इनहेरिटन्स कसा होतो याचं नॉलेज त्या काळी लोकांना नव्हतं. तरी पण त्यांना एवढं लक्षात आलेलं होतं की चांगल्या प्रकारचे प्लांट सिलेक्ट केले, त्याचे सीड्स जमा करून ठेवले आणि ते पुढच्या वर्षी जर यूज केले तर काय, तर चांगल्या प्रकारचे प्लांटची ग्रोथ होते. ओके, म्हणजे काय, तर त्यावेळेला त्यांना जरी सायन्सचं नॉलेज नव्हतं तरी पण फक्त ऑब्झर्वेशननी त्यांना हे कळालं. ओके, आणि ते त्याच्या जजमेंटनं त्यांनी काय केलं तर क्रॉप इम्प्रुव्हमेंटची प्रोसेस ही स्टार्ट झाली. Okay, that's why in older days we considered the plant breeding, it was an art more than the science. Okay, then we but nowadays but nowadays, as the knowledge of genetics and other related science progresses, plant breeding becomes art. And plant breeding becomes less art and more science. Okay, with the advancement of the knowledge of genetics and other related science progresses, plant breeding becomes less art and more science. Especially discovery of Mendel's work in the 1900 added a lot to the knowledge of science. Okay, Mendel in 1900 discovered the laws of inheritance. He gave the law, that is how actually the characters are transferred from one generation to the another generation, and later on it gives the basis for all plant breeding programs. Okay, these laws gives the scientific basis for the improvement of the crop, for the improvement of the crop. Okay, and on the account of scientific nature of plant breeding, there have been tremendous achievements in the crop improvement within the short period of 20th century, within the short period of 20th century. Okay, that means the Mendel work in the 1900 added a lot to the knowledge of science. Okay, that means after the discovery of law of inheritance, how the characters were transferred from one generation to the another generation, it was predicted by the Mendel in the 1900. Okay, and thus on the account of scientific nature of plant breeding, there have been tremendous achievement in the crop improvement within the short period of the 20th century. Okay, that means today it is a less art and more science. In the older time, the plant breeding was more art and less science. And also in modern era, we can call the plant breeding it is as a technology. Okay, because the product of all plant breeding activities, whether dependent on the art or science, is improved variety. Okay, what is the last product of the plant breeding? The improved variety, which is superior or far better than that of the existing variety. Okay, that's why we are saying the product of all plant breeding activities, whether dependent on the art or the science, is the improved variety, hybrids, synthetics, and the composites. And this product is utilized by farmers for the commercial cultivation. Okay, the variety which is developed, the superior variety which is developed by using the principles and methods of the plant breeding, a new crop variety is released and then it is utilized by the farmers for the commercial cultivation. And that's why nowadays we can rightfully refer the plant breeding as the new technology. ओके, टेक्नॉलॉजी म्हणजे काय, एखादा नवीन प्रॉडक्ट तयार होतो आणि तो ह्युमन बिंगच्या यूजसाठी तो यूज केला जातो. जस्ट लाईक दॅट इन द प्लांट ब्रीडिंग, द न्यू क्रॉप व्हरायटी विच इज सुपिरियर, better than that of the existing one is released, then and that superior variety it is the product which is provided to the farmers for the commercial cultivation. And that's why nowadays the plant breeding it is rightfully referred as the technology. Okay, that is the nature of the plant breeding. In the modern days, plant breeding was considered as an art, more art than the and less science. Okay, but after the discovery of Mendel's work, after the discovery of the law of inheritance by the Mendel, it becomes less art and more science. And in the modern era, we can say it is producing the product in the form of a superior variety, and this product it is utilized by the farmers for the commercial cultivation. And that's why in the modern era, we can say the plant breeding it is a less art, more science and technology. Okay, that is all about the nature of the plant breeding. In 1 minute. Okay, then another important thing, the relation of plant breeding with the other sciences. Okay, the development of plant breeding as a special field of study has been associated with and dependent on the other branches of the plant sciences. Okay, that means the development of plant breeding it is also the depending upon the knowledge of other branches of the plant sciences. Here we can say the genetics, then cytology, biometry, taxonomy, plant physiology, plant pathology and entomology, floral morphology and the bacteriology. These are the different branches of the plant sciences, and the knowledge of these branches it is associated and depending on the plant breeding that is useful to develop the new crop variety which is superior than that of the existing variety. The first of all, the genetics. Yes, what is meant by the genetics? Genetics it is the transfer of, it is the study of how the characters are transferred from one generation to the another generation. Inheritance of characters and law of heredity we are studying in the genetics. Okay, and that is how with the help of this knowledge of genetics the variety with the all the desirable characters can be produced. Okay, the variety with the all the desirable characters can be produced by using the knowledge of genetics. Okay, genetics it is the branch of botany that mainly deals with the study of inheritance of characters. Okay, then the second one, cytology. The plant breeding it requires the knowledge of cells. Okay, plant breeding is required the knowledge of cells, that is the cytology. Then the third one is the biometry. Biometry means the application of statistical formulas, application of the statistical formula to the biological data is called as the biometry. Okay, biometry means what? The application of statistical data to the statistical formula, or a statistical formula to the biological data is called as the biometry. ओके, बायोमेट्री म्हणजे काय, तर स्टॅटिस्टिक्स मधले जे फॉर्म्युला आहेत, जे रूल्स आहेत, त्याचा यूज करून आपण बायोलॉजिकल डाटा डिफाईन करतो, इंटरप्रेट करतो, त्याला आपण म्हणतो बायोमेट्री. ओके, बायोमेट्री मीन्स द ॲप्लिकेशन ऑफ स्टॅटिस्टिकल formula to the biological data is referred as the biometry. Okay, in the biometry, and in the plant breeding program you have to compare the performance of the new variety with the existing varieties. Okay, and then for the comparison different statistical formula, different statistical rules you can use to evaluate the performance of the new crop variety. That is the importance of biometry in the plant breeding. Then taxonomy. Taxonomy, that is the identification. Taxonomy means that is the branch of botany that mainly deals with the collection, identification, nomenclature and classification of the plant. Okay, the plant breed while developing the new crop variety, the knowledge of taxonomy is very important. Okay, if someone is developing the new crop variety in a certain taxa, then the plant breeder should know the all the species, he should study all the species to he should study the all the species of that taxa. Okay, that's why the taxonomy is an important in the plant breeding. Then plant physiology. Plant physiology we have discussed in the last semester. Plant physiology it is nothing but the study of all the processes, the study of all vital processes going inside the plant, and also the effect of environment on the plants. Okay, that is most important, because in the plant breeding, the crop varieties, with by using the knowledge of physiology, the plant breeding, the varieties which are resistant to the heat, cold, drought, etc., can be produced. Okay, plant physiology means the branch of botany that mainly deals with the study of all the vital processes which takes place inside the plant body, and also the effect of environmental condition on the plant. Thus, the knowledge of plant physiology is helpful to the plant breeder to develop the variety which is resistant to the environmental stresses like the cold, then freezing conditions, or the drought conditions, etc. Okay, then the next one is the plant pathology and the entomology. Plant pathology and entomology, there are different types of the insect and the pest which are the enemies of the crop. Okay, that's why the knowledge of this branch, it is helpful to the new, it is helpful in the plant breeding to develop the new variety which is resistant to the different types of the insect and the pest. Okay, that is the importance of plant pathology and the entomology in the plant breeding. Okay, plant pathology and entomology, that is which is studying the different types of the insect and the pests which are the enemies of the crop varieties. Okay, and therefore the knowledge of plant pathology and entomology, it is helpful in the plant breeding to produce the crop variety which is resistant to the different types of the insect and the pest. Then floral morphology, the knowledge of floral morphology, it is important especially in the hybridization. It is one of the important method of the plant breeding. Okay, we will discuss the hybridization in detail. Okay, but in the next lecture. Okay, because the first of all, here we are discussing the relation with the other plant sciences. Okay, the floral morphology, it is especially important in the hybridization method of the plant breeding. In the hybridization, floral morphology, that is different aspects of the flower like the structure of the flower, then behavior, then mechanism of opening and closing of the flower. The knowledge of this is helpful in the improvement of agricultural crops in the hybridization method of the plant breeding. Okay, floral morphology, it is important especially in the hybridization. Okay, the structure of the flower, then the behavior of closing and opening of the flower, it is important in the hybridization. Then the next one is the bacteriology, the study of the different types of the bacteria, the bacteriology. Okay, that is this is mainly helpful in the improvement of the crops which are belonging to the Fabaceae family. Okay, as all you know, in the Fabaceae family, root nodules are present on the Fabaceae members, and in the root nodules the different types of the nitrogen fixing bacteria are present, and these nitrogen fixing bacteria playing an important role in the growth and development of the plant. Okay, they are associated with the growth and development of the crop. That's why the study of these bacteria, the knowledge of these different types of bacteria, it is helpful in the plant breeding. Okay, that is the relation with the other plant sciences. Okay, the plant breeding, it is mainly related and dependent with the knowledge of different branches of plant sciences. Okay, how these different types of branches, these are helpful to develop the new crop variety, just we have discussed in detail. Okay, these are the different types of the branches like the genetics, cytology, biometry, taxonomy, plant physiology, plant pathology and entomology, floral morphology, and bacteriology. Okay, it is not important that the plant breeder should know all, or plant breeder should know, or plant breeder should have all the knowledge in all these different branches. Okay, that is, he should not be, maybe he is not expert in genetics or cytology, biometry, taxonomy, plant physiology, plant pathology, floral morphology, and bacteriology. But an experienced plant breeder should apply his knowledge in the development of the new crop variety. He may take the help of the experts which are working in these branches. Okay, don't get confused. That is the plant breeder. He's an expert in all the branches of plant sciences. He's just coordinating the knowledge of all these different plant sciences, all these different branches of the plant sciences, the experts which are working in all these sciences. He may take the advices or the suggestions from these experts and apply his knowledge to develop the new crop variety. Okay, that is how the new crop variety is developed. Okay, the plant breeding, it is the applied branch of the botany that is related and that is associated and dependent on the other plant sciences. Okay, then the next one, the aims and objectives of the plant breeding. Okay, just we have discussed the concept of plant breeding. The main objective of the plant breeding is to develop which is far better or superior than that of the existing crop variety. Okay, that is the main objective. Okay, remember that the main objective of any plant breeding program is to develop new crop variety which is superior or far better than that of the existing one. But there are also the certain and objectives which differ from crop to crop. ओके, मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह काय प्लांट ब्रीडिंगचा, तर एक अशी नवीन व्हरायटी तयार करायची आहे जी की सध्याच्या क्रॉप व्हरायटीपेक्षा ही सुपिरियर असेल, फार बेटर असेल. ओके, दिस इज द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह ऑफ द प्लांट ब्रीडिंग. पण काय, क्रॉप टू क्रॉप हे ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह हे चेंज होत जातात. Okay, the main objective of the plant breeding is to develop the new crop variety which is far better or superior than that of the existing variety in all aspects or in all character. Okay, but there are certain objectives which changes from crop to crop. Some of the common aims and objectives of the plant breeding we are discussing here. The first of all, the first one is the higher productivity. Higher productivity, that is, by using the knowledge of plant breeding, the new plant can be new crop variety can be produced, which is having the higher productivity. That means higher, the variety which is producing the higher grains or the fodder, oil, fiber, and the other plant products. Okay, productivity, higher grain, fodder, oil, fiber, and other products. Okay, then improved quality. Improved quality means the changes. Improved quality means the changes in the, or the improvement in the shape, size, color, nutrition, taste, then malting, milling, baking, keeping, cooking, etc. in the food grain or vegetables or fruits. Okay, improved quality means the improvement in the shape, size, color, flavor, nutrition, nutrition, taste, then malting, baking, keeping, and cooking, etc. in the food grains or vegetables or the fruits. Then plant breeding, it may be used to improve the certain quality in the plants. For example, the in sugarcane the variety is generally produced which is having the higher sugar percentage in the stem. Okay, then for example, in the cotton, generally the plant breeding, it mainly aims at improving the length and the strength of the cotton fiber. Okay, then for example, in the pulses, whenever the plant breeding it is applied, it is practiced, generally it is practiced to improve the protein content in the pulses. Then also in the apple, generally it is applied, it is practiced to develop the appealing flavor in the apples. Okay, that is how it is changed from one crop to the another crop. Okay, aims and objectives, the first one is the higher productivity in the grain, fodder, fiber, oils, and the other plant products. Improved quality, shape, size, color, nutrition, then flavor, then malting, then cooking, then keeping qualities in the vegetables, fruits, and the food grains. Then certain special characters like the percentage of sugar in sugar cane, then the protein content in the pulses. Then another important thing, for example, the stronger, longer, and fine fibers in the cotton. And the another example is the appealing flavor in the apple. Okay, then third one is the resistance to the insect, pest, diseases. Then resistance to the drought condition, resistance to the freezing conditions, then resistance to the alkaline and saline conditions of the soil, then resistance to the moisture. Okay, the varieties are developed which are having the resistance to the insect, pest, diseases, then drought condition, then frost conditions, then winter hardiness, then alkaline and saline conditions of the soil, then resistance to the moisture. Okay, then resistance to the lodging. Lodging means what? Lodging means in certain types of the cereals, these cereals grow extensively so that their stem becomes weaker, and so that the cereals fall down on the soil, and that is we called it as a lodging. Okay, these are the different types of the resistance which are present in the plant. Okay, then by using the knowledge of plant breeding, the change in maturity duration can be achieved. That means the earliness or lateness in the maturity. Okay, the maturity period of the plants, the maturity period of the crops, it can be changed by using the knowledge of plant breeding. The new varieties which can be produced, which can mature early, or their maturity period it is delayed as per the need of farmers. Okay, then the next one is the modification of agronomic characters. Modification of agronomic characters. Different agronomic characters means the development of the large number of the branches, then height of the branches, height of the plant. Okay, these are the modification of agronomic characters. Okay, height of the plant, then the branching in the plant. This is the example of the agronomic characters. By using the knowledge of plant breeding, the changes can be brought about in the agronomic characters of the plant. Then winter hardiness. Okay, that is these plants are resistant to the winter. Then short and stiff straw to prevent lodging. Just we have discussed the short and stiff straw to prevent lodging. Lodging means what? In certain type of the cereals grow vigorously. They in That's why their stem becomes weaker, and due to which these cereals fall down on the soil, and due to which the in some of the cereal, the aim and objective of the plant breeding is to produce the short and sift straw to prevent the lodging. Then another objectives in some of the crop, response to the heavy manuring, response to the heavy manuring. Then another objective of the plant breeding, it is the easier thrashability. Okay, then another objective is the adaptability to the wider region. Adaptability to the wider region. For example, in India, that is in India, in most of the time there is a huge variation in the environmental conditions from one area to the another area. Suppose the one variety it is developed in Maharashtra and someone want to cultivate on commercial scale in another state, for example in Rajasthan or the Gujarat, then it becomes very difficult. That's why the variety it should be developed, the variety which is developed, it should be adaptable to the wider environmental conditions. Okay, that is the knowledge of plant breeding. It is used to develop the variety which is adaptable, which can be cultivated in the different climatic conditions. Okay, that is the another important aim and objective of plant breeding: adaptability to the wider regions, adaptability to the wider environmental conditions. Then in mechanized areas, suitability to the machine harvesting. Okay, nowadays the even in India or even in villages, you can see their the harvesting and their threshability, their harvesting and the further post harvesting processes. These are carried out with the help of the different types of the machines. That's why the variety it should be suitable to the machine harvesting in the mechanized areas. Okay, then another aim and objective: elimination of toxic substances. Okay, there are certain crop varieties which are having the toxic substances. That's why the new varieties are developed which in which these toxic substances are removed. Okay, the elimination of toxic substances, the toxic substances must be reduced in the new variety. For example, the brassica oil, it is having the toxic substance part as the erucic acid. Okay, the brassica oil it is having the erucic acid, and that's why the new varieties of the that's why new varieties are produced in which the erucic acid is completely eliminated, completely removed, and so that the brassica oil becomes safe for the human consumption. Okay, that is the elimination of toxic substances. The toxic substances must be eliminated, must be removed before the human consumption, and that's why the new varieties are produced which in which these toxic substances are eliminated. For example, the brassica oil it is having the erucic acid as a toxic substance. That's why the new varieties are developed in which the erucic acid it is completely removed, and that's why the brassica oil becomes very safe for the human consumption. Okay, then the synchronous maturity. Synchronous maturity, as you know, in India the farmers are growing two or more crops in their field. Why their maturity period it is changed, it is changed as per the need, and that is why it will become very easy for the harvesting. That is why we are saying the synchronous maturity. Okay, then determinate growth, and the another one that is the dormancy. Dormancy means what? Dormancy it is nothing but the resting period in the seeds. Okay, resting periods in the seeds. Okay, that's why the dormancy period or the resting period in the seed it is changed as using the knowledge of plant breeding. Okay, the new varieties are produced by using the knowledge of plant breeding in which the dormancy period it is changed. Dormancy means the resting periods of the seeds. Okay, for example, in the most of the cereals like the jawar or the mm, jawar, wheat, the dormancy of or the resting period of the grain it is changed or it is delayed. Otherwise, these after harvesting, when they get dried, immediately their germination will takes place in the field. Okay, that's why the dormancy or the resting period of the grains it is delayed by using the plant breeding in the new variety. Okay, that is all about the aims and objectives of the plant breeding. Okay, aims and objectives. Summary of today's lecture, just first of all, we have discussed the concept of plant breeding. Concept of plant breeding, it is the applied branch of botany that mainly deals with the changing the heredity or genetic constitution of the agricultural crop to produce the new crop variety which is far better or superior than that of the existing variety. Okay, that means the plant breeding, it consists the different principles and methods which are used to change the genetic constitution of the plant. Okay, that is the concept of the plant breeding. Then we have discussed the nature of the plant breeding. Plant breeding, by nature, it is referred as the art, science and technology. Okay, it is in the older days when the science was not very much progressed, the knowledge was not known to the human being. Then at that time, the plant then at that time the plant breeding, it was referred as the more art and less science. Okay, because the human beings carried out the selection of the certain plants depending upon their need. Okay, but they were not aware about how the important characters in the plant are transferred or inherited from one generation to the another generation, and it was completely depending upon their judgment. That's why we can say in the older time, when the knowledge of science was not progressed, at that time the plant breeding was more art less than science. But later on, the in the 1900, as the science get progressed and the inheritance of laws of inheritance was given by the Mendel, then it gives the scientific basis for the how the characters are transferred from the one generation to the another generation, and thus the huge achievement was achieved in the shorter period of the 20th century in the plant breeding, and that is how the plant breeding becomes the more science and less art. And in the modern era nowadays, the variety, the improved variety is produced by the plant breeding, it is considered as a product, and therefore, and this product, it is then given to the farmers for the commercial cultivation. Therefore nowadays the plant breeding, it is rightfully referred as the new technology. Okay, then further, after discussing the nature of the plant breeding, we have discussed the aims and then we have discussed the relation of the plant breeding with the other plant sciences like the genetics, cytology, biometry, plant pathology, then bacteriology, entomology, plant physiology, etc. Okay, and lastly we have discussed about the aims and the objectives of the plant breeding. Okay, then that is all about the today's lecture. Okay, we have discussed the concept and the aims and objectives by a plant breeding. Okay, I think this is enough for the today's lecture. In the next lecture, in tomorrow's lecture, we will discuss the different activities of the plant breeding and the different methods which are used to develop the improved varieties. Okay, this is enough for today. ओके, बरं, व्यवस्थित दिसलंय का सगळ्यांना? कोणतरी अनम्यूट करा स्वतःला.
हो सर. हो सर.